What's the weirdest compliment you've ever been given? In 7th grade, I wore a fanny pack to school to hold stuff like you.I cards, which I played with at lunch. Once while walking down the hallway, an 8th grader I never met before was like, "Do I like your fanny pack?" Gave me a high five and kept walking. I never saw him again. And miraculously nobody ever picked on me about it, to my face at least. I had pink eye and the nurse was looking into the non-infected eye. "You have beautiful retinas." Thank you. That I'm like a piece of furniture. Don't do much but you notice when I'm not there. My 4-year-old son told me I smelled like music. When I asked what kind of music, he said music you dance to. Still the best compliment I have received to date. Edit. Lots of people asking if he may have synesthesia. I thought that as well. However, he's 9 now. And we've had no other incidences. I asked him just now if he ever tastes shapes or hears numbers etc, and he looked at me like I had 7 heads. A woman I was talking to in my dad's shop thought I was not me but my sister. When I tried to correct her that I am me, she told me, "No, you are not. Insta, my name is fat and has short hair. She is not beautiful like you." Like. My friends and I were talking about what kind of potatoes we'd be. One of my best friends told me you'd be a loaded baked potato. People pay extra for that good. That I've the most beautiful eyebrows. Were even asking if I plucked them or what routine I had. BTW. I'm a guy. But NGL. You are so tan. How did you get so tan? I'm Indian. You look comfortable. Not as in I looked relaxed. She meant I looked comfortable to rest. Lean or lay on. At first I asked if she was politely saying I was fat. She explained that I had a look about me of being someone who would comfortable to cuddle with and not hog space or covers. I took it as a compliment. I hope it was. This was a stranger I was having a conversation with during the morning train commute maybe 3 years ago. Came from out of the blue. As well. A coworker once told me that I was a cross between Han Solo and Bunsen Honeydew from the Muppets. This was in 1998 and I still can't stop thinking about it. Was that supposed to be a compliment? An insult? The worst part is that he was pretty accurate. A teacher in high school told me several times that I had a perfectly shaped head. The pizza who pierced my ears back in August told me my ears were perfect and to call her if anyone said otherwise and she would fight them for me. During an internal ultrasound I once got told I have beautiful fallopian tubes. I've been riding that high for years. During pelvic floor PT they have the ultrasound on so you can see that you're doing the exercises correctly. When you do it correctly your cervix curls up a bit and looks like it's smiling. My PT said, "Look at that happy little cervix." Now whenever I do my Kegels, I picture my smiling little cervix. With the right makeup you'd make a really good looking girl. I'm a guy BTW. You look like you're good with your elbows. Said by a 50-plus-year-old man biking by. He then swung back around telling me I should try out for the local roller derby team. This sounds like a dad directing women to his newly out daughter's roller derby team. Whoa. You're stronger than my dad. My GF. Someone told me my eyes were upside down. Not sure what that means or if it was even a compliment. They seemed friendly. Your freckles are so SI. Freckles are SI. His sister has freckles. Both of those are normal statements. SI freckles remind him of his sister. Now that's messed up. When I went to the doctor I juice they were training a nurse. They were about to draw my blood and the older one poked at my veins. She said I had nice bouncy veins. So they're easy to see and draw blood from. You remind me of a swan. Large. White and a psychopathic attitude. You'd look great in an off-shoulder dress. I'm a guy. But if I ever want to start wearing dresses. I work retail and was told this by a customer. You're so nice. You must have been bullied in high school. Edit. Because people asked. I was in fact bullied in high school. I'm in college now and since it's online the only people bullying me is my family. Random stranger while I was on a run. Nice neck. I'm not saying I believe in vampires. But I made sure my windows were all locked at night. The vampire. Disappointed at finding your windows locked. Cursed and muttered to himself. Better luck next time. Edit. It took me a couple decades to realize guys like you are the best. Thanks. From a teacher. You're like a barbed wire fence. Maybe something gets past you. But it leaves tattered pieces behind. I'm not very attentive. One evening about 12 years ago I was on a bus headed down to the financial district in New York City. I can't remember why we were on a bus instead of taking the subway, as I rarely took buses over the subway. Anyway, there wasn't many people in the bus and every passenger was able to sit in a seat. Directly across from where I was sitting was an elderly Asian woman. She sat there smiling at me for a couple minutes. I wasn't sure if she was smiling at me or just in my direction, so I just smiled back at her. When we reached her stop, she came up to me and said, "You are even more beautiful than Meryl Streep." I was so flattered but also tickled. Meryl Streep is a good 35 years older than me. I never thought of her as a beautiful woman, but that didn't matter because someone did. And they thought I was beautiful too. You look ominous, the mailman said to me while I sat on the curb reading Time magazine waiting outside my apartment for the mail to arrive. I went to my 25th high school reunion and a woman I knew then didn't recognize me. When I told her my name she said, "Oh my gosh. You're so handsome now." Goddamn. That happened to me too. The most popular girl in my class, she took a good long look and said, "Pastor? Is that you?" But not in a bitchy way. More in a dumb way. We ended up having a really cool convo. You know the definition of the word wholesome? You are my new definition for that. Something along those lines. Kinda of weird, but man did it feel good to get it. I couldn't stop smiling. You speak very good English. From a native English speaker to me. I'm from Connecticut. I better speak English well. I, an 18-year-old male at the time, was catcalled while walking up the street. The assailant screamed, "You have very good posture. Lol." Edit. I had actually been involved in a pretty serious car wreck months prior and had been working on my posture with a physical therapist to address whiplash related pain. Go to engage those abdominal muscles just under your belly. An old lady once told me she wishes she was 60 years younger. Then she would give me some confidence. It was the most unsettling, funniest, and somehow most charming compliment I've ever received. You finally look like a human being. It happens every time I get a haircut, lol. Edit. Thanks for the awards. D also. It's nice to see that you finally look like a human is an universal saying rather than just something I thought was from my country. I wonder what other sayings are like that. It was a crowd Australia Day celebration in the city. Was getting a bit out of control and everyone had way too much to drink. I tried to walk quietly by a bunch of fairly aggressive troublemakers. Without attracting attention, one of them shouts out, "Hey everyone, look at that guy. He looks awesome. I want my children to look like him." And everyone stops and looks at me. Some people nod and go, "Yeah." Full stop. Edit. Thanks for the awards, kind strangers. Maybe not the weirdest, but definitely the one most out of left field. I was walking down the street minding my own business and this guy sitting on the corner looks at me and goes, "Everybody get a load of Antonio Banderas over here." Haha, how's IT going, Antonio? I only maybe kinda look like Antonio Banderas, but he's a handsome dude, so I always took it as a compliment. Context: I'm a pretty skinny guy. No, you're very broad. Girls like that. They're gonna look at you and say, "Now that is a jungle gym and I just want to climb all over." Your eyes alone are worth 2,000 camels for your hand in marriage. Nice nips. You have great earlobes. Edit. Your penis is harder than old chicken. Wow, you're really grown up from my aunt. When I was 36, yo. You look like an anime character. Whoa. Thanks. That's a great compliment. Yeah. Like that show Helsing. With all the vampires. Every time I see her, my gynecologist always says you have such a cute little cervix. I've had a BF blushingly tell me I have a really cute butthole. Don't make it weird. So I got that going for me. My gynecologist said my cervix was angry. Lol. Edit. Gynecologists, maybe put down the speculum and go outside for it. Yeah? You're so SI. You reminded me of my mum. You look gay today by one of my great nan's friends. She had meant happy, but it made me laugh so hard I choked on my drink. Thought she had excellent gaydar. That would definitely be the girl who said to me, "You're not gross to look at." I married her best friend. One of my first days at a new job, I hear a co-worker telling another co-worker, I mean this as a compliment, "You the real gongazla." Looks like she collects dead animals in jars. Still my favorite compliment. Edit. Link to my username instead of a non-existent subreddit. Edit. To all responding to my username. Memento mori, my friends. I'm petite, so there was one time somebody told me that I must be easy to maneuver. Not sure if that is a compliment. Run. I got told I have SI legs. By a married gay woman. I'm a bloke. Your leg looks SI. A drunk woman at the bar was all over me. She was especially entranced by my elbows. She said I had really strong elbows and they were so SI. She eventually asked if she could lick them. I'll weird I allowed her. Pre-COVID people, don't worry. Edit. No, I'm not Technoblade. I do like Minecraft though. Nope, still worried. It wasn't really a weird compliment. Just a really weird delivery. This girl came up to me and told me to look straight forward. Stared into one of my eyes for like 2 minutes and said nice. Edit. Thanks for so many upvotes. But this is way more boring than you make it out to be. We met through a mutual friend in the city, not a club, uni or whatever X, and she is straight as far as I know. She was just judging your very soul. No worries. Edit. Thank you for the rocket. I shall cherish it for as long as my attention span allow. Edit 2. And thank you for the upvotes and jokes. Your butt is really toned. Like buns of steel, bro. That was from my older cousin a few years ago when she randomly slapped my ass thinking I was her boyfriend walking out of the kitchen. Still kinda creeps me out. She did apologize after she realized her mistake, but her compliment right after made it way weirder. So, I've never done that to a relative. But I have been so shocked by someone that I just blurted out my thought. I was talking with an old friend at her job and she introduced me to her new coworker. This girl was drop dead gorgeous. Honestly, one of the most stunning people that I've ever seen. She was like a walking piece of art. So, my coworker introduces me and all I can say is wow. Oh my gosh. You're so beautiful. She gave me a weird look, said thanks, and excused herself shortly thereafter. I'm a totally straight woman, too. But sometimes something just shocks you enough your brain shuts down for a reboot and you're left on your own. You look like a you.I. My sister's friend told me I had the sense of humor of an old man on his deathbed who was upset because he couldn't find his ex-wife to tell her to FCK off one last time. Not. Edit. I didn't realize he was referencing Ron Swanson. I've seen Parks and Rec, but it was years ago so I forgot about it. Why are you so tall? I've been told that I have exceptionally smooth balls. Like 2 hard-boiled eggs in a balloon full of downy fabric softener. Gee. Thanks doc. But anyway, you were checking for lumps, right? You must be Australian cause that bikini ain't hiding that bushfire. Drunkenly met a guy at a bar. He leaned over, smelled my hair, and with excitement in his eyes told me you smell like a Swedish meadow. On the third date he told me you got some wood chopping shoulders. Like damn girl. If it's the dead of winter and wood needs to be chopped, I'm calling you. I've now been dating over a year and a half. My girlfriend said that the first thing she noticed about me were my hands. That was 4 years ago and she still reminds me to this day how much she liked them. I guess being a guitarist with pianist hands at its perks? You smell like watermelon. Someone told me that they liked talking to me because I made them use their whole brain. I dunno. It's weird. But it was nice to hear. Edit. Since a bunch of people are making the same joke about strokes, here are the 5 classic warning signs of stroke. Know when to call for help. Weakness or numbness in the face, arm or leg, usually on just one side. Difficulty speaking or understanding language. Decreased or blurred vision in one or both eyes. Unexplained loss of balance or dizziness. Severe headache with no known cause. You must have been invited to this conference because you're so pretty. At a particle physics conference organized by my alma mater which invited a few alumni. Said to me by a physics Nobel laureate. Thanks dude. Stay classy. Edit. For those who are saying he didn't know what he was doing. Comma. He knew. We had just finished dinner and he came over to say it the second his wife left the table. I also then learned months later he's banned from at least one university campus for his behavior. That I sound like an attractive dying goat. Edit. I went shopping for a friend while he did a favor for me. It was later at night. And I had parked far away-ish in the parking lot. There were a few other shoppers and a woman was following me out after I had checked out. There was a car parked next to mine in a basically empty lot and I thought, wouldn't it be funny if this lady had parked next to me? With all these empty spots? And lo. She had. I had pulled through so our driver's sides were next to each other. I load my trunk up with groceries and start to get in but the lady stops me. I am 21. 6 feet. Very long. Luscious curly at the time, and pushed up against my car by a lady who could be my grandma. She grabs a lock of my hair, pushes up against me and says women would kill for this hair. All I could say was I know. Thanks. Got in my car and left promptly. This isn't going to immediately sound weird, but a very friendly woman who I'd never talked to before from church told me I had a really nice smile. Every single time she saw me she would enthusiastically demand I smiled for her. Not in a creepy hey baby gimme a smile way. A genuinely kind-hearted way. Thing is, I have terrible teeth. I have an absolutely massive overbite and my front teeth are fairly crooked and they're all coffee stained and a bit chipped. I've been self-conscious of my smile my whole life. I wonder if she complimented me for that reason. Or if it was genuine. She has since passed away unfortunately. She was young too. So I can't exactly ask her. I don't even remember her name but I don't think I'll ever forget her. Thank you for all your nice comments. You all are wholesome. I'd kill my grown children if I could go back in time and make a new set with you old lady buying cigarettes. Semicolon. Edit. Holy crap everyone. Thanks for the awards. This dopamine hits different. One time a gay co-worker told me I have very expressive eyebrows for a straight man. That compliment has stuck with me for years. He then said that my hands look like Subway flatbreads. I'm not sure how to take that one. 2 young boys ran by me as I was stocking at Walmart. One said to the other, "He looks like a boy but with boobs." Went on a blind date with this guy who's a friend of a friend. He spent the night mostly talking about how nice my top made my boobs look. Yeah, that was the first and last time I saw him. Can't say that I blame you. Who wants to date someone who's that into fashion? Found out my teachers in high school used to describe me as the one with the knees. I always wore a miniskirt. I heard you give really good blowjobs. He was serious. I'm a straight male who never gave a BJ in my life. Perhaps it was a test. You know, instead of saying are you a homozul or bizzle? He just casually said I heard you give crazy sick BJs. Is that true, bro? A drunk guy told me I've always been a good potato. I most certainly have not. Someone told me I give the best hugs. This compliment doesn't seem out of the ordinary, but just the fact that I'm skinny and when someone hugs me they semi-crunch my organs. Mine's that I look like a Tim Burton character. At least. I thought it was a compliment because I like Tim Burton's work. But now that I think, all of his characters are undead. Damn girl. You ain't just the meal. Yous the whole damn buffet. Had to take a Greyhound out of Phoenix. It was delayed, and while I was standing by the charging station the lady asked where I was from. I told her my hometown and she was like, they make some fine and booty there. Girl, you're thick. I was flustered and flattered. Friend reminded me of another. Probably better one. Your hands are so tiny. When I was very pregnant with our first child, an older gentleman stopped me in the market and started coming onto me. He said, "You look so SI in such a successful fertile state. Life growing deep inside you." Made me feel real uncomfortable. I have beautiful veins according to every person who has drawn my blood. After I got a pixie cut. You look like one of those dolls from the 20s walking out of choir class. Well, I think this may have been intended as an insult since I was curvier back then, but some guy told me I was built for comfort not speed. Given that I would prefer a guy to be comfortable, I'd rather him be quick. Damn. You're as fat. What are your pronouns? You're like a plant. An old buddy of my big brother once told me, he was pretty drunk, that I was a female version of my brother and then proceeded to hit on me. After camping in plus 90 heat for a couple days she said, "I like your BO." I watched Animal Planet once or twice. I knew what was up. More of a backhanded compliment. In seeing a picture of my kids she said loudly, "Oh my god, your wife must be beautiful." My clarinet teacher, M45 plus, told me, F17 at the time, that I had perfect lips for blowing. Then promptly went into high panic. My lips are very well suited for woodwind instruments. Was once told that I look like an older Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is older than me. People always tell me I have really nice skin. I also shave my arms. And people will feel my arms and be like, "Oh my goodness, your skin is so smooth how?" And I'm like, "Bro, I shower and got lucky genes." Best compliment I ever got was that I look exactly like young Leonardo DiCaprio. And worst compliment was that I have a very nice. You'd make a great truck driver. I'm truck driver. You have nice tits. I hear this every Monday and Wednesday by the same 94-year-old Alzheimer's patient. It shocked me at first, but now I'm like, yeah. I think I do have great tits. So it's like a new appreciation of my own self. Someone told me my prosthetic was SI a few months ago. I didn't love that. I work in a shop and one day a customer reached across and grabbed my hand very firmly. And said, "I wish my son would bring home a nice girl like you. Not the slappers he's always bringing back." You seem like you don't own any item of clothing that has a skull on it. Was at my friend's house and as her 12-year-old came downstairs I hear her say, "Oh, she's here, I can smell her." Apparently she loves the smell of my fabric softener and could smell me. I had an older customer say that she'd park her slippers under my bed any day of the week. One of those when I walked away a few steps. Then got it and cracked up. I hope you get hit by a bus. Not sure if that's a compliment, buddy. Your arsehole tastes great. What a brown noser. Context. I'm a firefighter. I've been complimented on my CPR skills on more than one occasion by the arriving paramedics. They are apparently quite impressed that a stretcher fetcher can actually do good quality compressions. If you know anything about the whole paramedics firefighter rivalry, they typically joke that firefighters just soften them up. It's totally nice to hear that my CPR is top notch. But it's also really bizarre to hear it while you're working on the patient. I like your toes. Thinking I misheard. I said sorry? And the person repeated. Much louder. In the middle of Costco. I like your toes. Your skin would make nice leather is my top weirdest. After that probably. You have nice capillaries. That I think like a man. I am very petite and short person and look young. Or so I have been told, compared to my age, and people always mistake my age by a good decade or more. So I was at Costco this one time and the sample lady asked me if I had an adult accompanying me. I literally stood still and didn't know what to say. Till date I have no idea how to feel about it. Worst, I was at a birthday party last summer and had a phone call, so excused myself to the backyard where kids were playing. One of them walks towards me and asks, "Are you a kid?" He wanted to know if I owned that cell phone. And how did my parents allow it? SMH. I wanted to disappear. Edit to add, these aren't really compliments in my world, but few of my friends think otherwise. For me it's just everyone calling me a kid and it somehow feels like an insult.